If you feel like your fills are boring, repetitive, and uninteresting, and creating any kind of syncopation or interestingness in them is just hard for you, then today's lesson is for you. Hey, I've been there. I remember as a beginner drummer, I was always afraid to try to create interesting fills and interesting patterns and rhythms because I was afraid of crashing and burning and losing the time and getting sloppy and not coming back in on time and therefore train wrecking the band, losing my spot in the song, all those things that we worry about. And those are completely valid fears. Until I found this really fun cheat that allows you to really hack the process of creating melodic, syncopated, cool sounding fills on the drums. So today I'm teaching you the skeleton rhythm cheat, a very simple and highly achievable fill creation method that will work for you even if you're a total beginner. It worked for me as a beginner, it's gonna help you out a bunch. Let's dive in, you can do this. Hey, welcome to the Non-Glamorous Drummer. I'm so glad you're hanging out today. I help self-taught beginner drummers know what to practice so they can nail songs and become the drummer other people want to have in their band. And hey, to help you do that, I've got a totally free gift for you in the description. It's my Know What to Practice for the Beginner Drummer PDF e-guide. If you've just got 30 minutes to practice every day and you've had no clue what to focus on and you felt like you're not growing, this is the guide for you because it breaks it all down. Learn the 3 most simple and effective things to be practicing every day: the flow exercise, the twofold coordination growth method, and the learn songs by ear daily method. When you do a little bit of these 3 things every day, even if it's just for 30 minutes, you grow like crazy because your practicing is balanced. There's no overwhelm, there's no guesswork, there's no wondering, am I growing, am I practicing the right things? This keeps it so simple for you, and you really will start gaining drumming superpowers as a result. So be sure to go grab that e-guide, totally free, my gift to you. Let's get on with today's lesson. So this whole thing really does feel like a cheat because it's like, this is too easy. But what's great about it, this gave me so much confidence as a beginner when it came to playing fills because I found, okay, an interesting fill is no longer difficult for me. And so it kind of helped me, in the growth process of gaining that confidence I needed. And so if that's you and you've just felt like you lack confidence with fills, this is going to give you that boost you need to really start doing some cool stuff and then grow from there. So here's the thing. Most people think that playing creative, melodic, or even syncopated fills is hard to do well in time. But the truth is you can do any of those things just playing right, left singles. So I'll kind of repeat that differently. Most people think that the only way you can play an interesting fill is to play something like that, and that was cool, and that had a lot of space in it. That's the kind of fill that I was trying to do in high school, but I couldn't do because I was stumbling and crashing and burning. It's easy to think that that's the only way that can be done. But the truth is, you can still create fills like that just playing right, left singles. And that is the skeleton rhythm cheat. This is going to be a lot of fun. Follow along with me. So as long as you can play right, left singles, and then play some of them softly, some of them loudly, that's all you need today. Step 1, play alternating 16th singles on your snare. So I'm going to get my metronome going. We're going to go 60 beats a minute, which is somewhat of a magic tempo because I guess it's the tempo of a second hand on a clock. It's a good slow tempo to start at. It just feels natural. It's like a good, 120 is the people's tempo, so 60 is like the practicing people's tempo. When we're trying to practice stuff and we're trying to start slow, 60 is a great place to start. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to cue up my metronome to 60 and count us off. And we're just going to start playing on the snare. I'm going to keep time for you doing quarter notes with my left foot. You don't have to do that. I don't want you to add that in too. Just focus on the snare. It's just here to reference where the beat is as we go through this. So here's the metronome, which you can't hear, but I can hear it in my ears. Here's our tempo. This is the quarter note right here. So I'll count us off, and here we go. 1, 2, 16ths, go. Now that in and of itself could be a fill. Obviously, if you're being super simple, you can just play 16ths around the kit, easy fill. And so sometimes that works and sometimes that's the fill we want to do. But today we're talking about getting more interesting, rhythmic, melodic, creating something really cool and intentional and purposeful in what we're doing. So what if we quiet down our 16ths, we make them really soft, and we start playing intentional accents to create rhythms. This isn't hard to do. It might be a little weird at first, and if you need to get used to just the feeling of right, left, I know I did as a beginner. I was a lefty, so I wanted to go left, right, and my drum set teacher said, hey, practice playing right-hand lead around the kit. It's going to make your life easier. And sure enough, it did. But I remember at first, just going right, left felt weird enough. So the thought of adding in accents kind of tangled my brain up. So if you're a total beginner and that's where you're at, that's okay. Just give it some time. Be patient with it. You'll get there. But hey, let's start really simple. We're going to practice placing accents in specific places here in step 2. So first we're going to accent the beats. Like that. Then we're going to accent the E's. So that's the second note. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E. I'm going to keep the hi-hat going to reference it so you don't get lost. Then we're going to accent the ands. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Then the uhs. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and Practice doing it nice and smoothly in time. You can play along with me. Make your soft notes really soft. Your accents nice and loud. Here we go again at 60. 1, 2, ready, go. And so on. At that point, we're back to the beats. And it's that simple. The reason why we're doing this is because you have to be able to intentionally play on the part of the beat you intend to play on. If I just tell you, okay, play softly and now accent some cool rhythms, it's easier said than done if you're new to this. You've got to get that intentional practice of connecting your brain to your hands and saying, all right, I'm going to play the beats. Okay, now I'm going to play the E's. And once you can do that, now you start to have the freedom to branch away from that and do some fun stuff. Now, before you do that, kind of an intermediate step here, you can also do is basically what we just did was shifting accents. You could also do shifting pairs, and you could say, okay, let's do 1 E, and then let's accent E and then and so on, like this. And so on. Literally the same concept. I won't play all the way through it, but the same concept as the shifting singles there. Instead, it's kind of like shifting double, shifting pairs, where we're just accenting 2 notes at a time and then gradually moving them over. And so by the time you've done that and you've spent a lot of time on this, just do this a few minutes every day. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. Just start a practice session with it, just with singles. Anything that's core and simple is probably going to be the most productive thing in your practicing anyways. So this is a great thing to start with. And then just see, okay, ask yourself the question, and this is something I want to challenge you to. Always be asking yourself the question, how many ways can I practice this? What other value might I be able to extract from this? How can I get creative with this? How can I take this and run with it? So obviously we could do accents, but also we could hit the toms. What if we did... and so on. What if we did... There's a lot we can do with this, and then we can get into step 3 of, okay, practice crafting intentional rhythms and thinking to yourself, all right, what if I were to play bum 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 bum? It's kind of that classic rhythm, dun 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 bum bum, but we're going slower. So think through, okay, which hand is going to hit what? You can airplay it at first. Okay, right to left to right to right, right. Okay, now let's do it. And then, okay, how many ways can I move it around? What all can I do here? What if I then move it all to the floor tom and I go... I changed the rhythm that first time because I was thinking a full-on 4/3 here on the tom could be cool. But that's beside the point. So keeping our rhythm the same, bump, 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 bump. We could do that same thing on the floor tom, and then we can move over to the snare. actually, okay, what if we move the left hand up to the rack tom and then we move the right hand over here? We're still just doing singles. And suddenly we've created this cool jungle drums thing too, just with that rhythm. So, okay, how can we turn it into a groove feel? How can we turn it into a fill feel? What other things can we hit? The sky's the limit and it is endless, and I promise you that, so my best students are the ones who are always asking themselves, how many ways can I play this? How many ways can I practice this? They grow like crazy because it's not just do this, check the box, move on. It's, what all can I do with this? It's getting curious. If you're curious with an exercise, you will go so far. So I throw that in there as a challenge to you. Practice doing that. So that's kind of a combination of steps 3 and 4. Step 3 was practice crafting intentional rhythms. Step 4, move these rhythms to the toms. So now your new challenge, it's no longer the challenge of just doing accents and that whole thing on the snare. That's back to our first step of, our second step really, of let's practice doing loud, let's practice doing soft. Once we've gotten that down, our new challenge is thinking of a rhythm and then applying that. So what would be another rhythm? So we start here soft. So this one's a little weird because it starts soft. Like that, and suddenly we've got these really cool rhythms. So what if we start practicing, now the critical thing here, what if we start practicing combining this with a groove? What if we're going... Practice going back and forth between simple groove, it can literally just be money beat, and then playing one of these rhythmic singles things. So it could be as simple as this. Just make yourself do that, because at a core fundamental level, all you're doing here is playing a measure of 1/8 notes, followed by a measure of 16th notes. You can practice that on a practice pad, going and so we're just going from timekeeping into 16ths, and then we're thinking about the accents, and we're using our time while we're playing the simple money beat to then think, okay, what rhythmic accent pattern are we going to play here? It doesn't have to be a lot of accents. Sometimes the less you do, the more interesting it is. Sometimes you want to think less is more, like let's just play a whole bunch of soft ghost notes and then occasionally reach to a tom. But practice it slowly first and challenge yourself to do like, what if I only do 3 accented notes? Or okay, I'm only going to do 4 accented notes. That way it has to be sparse. A lot of times those are the most impactful fills that are really cool. So that's it. That's the cheat. You can use it when playing tom grooves. You can sit here and go. Like that, or I did that a whole bunch in high school, or when you're doing fills. adding in those dynamics, even if it's something like, or that kind of thing. So simple, and it becomes effortless because all you're doing is right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And so it literally feels like a cheat. It feels like a hack, but you'll have so much fun with this. Then the next thing that can be on your radar is weaning yourself off of that and saying, all right, I'm gonna think of a rhythm and now I'm gonna just play that rhythm. So this is the bonus points thing, kind of the next thing beyond today's lesson of, okay, what if I don't play all the alternating 16ths? What if I go, so what if you start doing that? And that's the really cool place. And that's where I wanted to be as a high school drummer, but I couldn't get to yet. And so this whole cheat helps you bridge the gap. And sometimes these gap bridgers are so helpful. I don't think that it would become a crutch. I don't think it was a crutch for me. Instead, it was a bridge building technique that helped me gain enough confidence to get better at applying ideas to fills and grooves so that then I could start learning to wean myself off of all the extra notes and just play the rhythm. That came naturally with time, and it'll come for you too. And so don't feel like this is a crutch. Don't feel like this is a bad cheat. It's a cheat. It feels like cheating. It's a hack. But I think it's a good one that'll help you build so much confidence in yourself as you create ideas on the kit and as you come up with cool, unique stuff. We've got some other lessons here on the channel about this, about applying rhythmic ideas to the drums as applied to tom grooves. We've also got one called the drum solo formula for beginners. I'll link that one as well, where it's all about how can we use singles-based fills to create ideas on the drum set and literally craft a drum solo if you're totally new to the drums. Totally achievable for you. So I hope you have a lot of fun with this. If you take action on this, you will be playing more musical, creative fills while staying in time and not fearing train wrecking the band because you're literally just doing singles. Remember, you can practice it on your pad. Right, 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 left, and just practice making rhythms and unique things with your alternating singles. It's a really fun challenge, and you can do it away from the kit. You'll feel more relaxed and confident because the fills feel easy. Whenever something can become easy, and that's a great question to always ask yourself, what if this were easy? How can I make this easy? Because when it becomes easy, that's when comfort and confidence happen, and that's what helps carry you to the next level. And that's awesome. And hey, you might even impress your friends and bandmates when doing this. They'll be like, wow, you haven't played a cool fill ever, and now suddenly you're playing all these cool fills. How are you doing this? And you'll be like, well, that's my secret. Or you'll share it with them, and you'll say, hey, I found this cool thing where, okay, if I just do singles, I can play accents, and it's awesome. And they'll be like, wow, that's so cool. And all the while, you're learning dynamic control while you're doing this, and you're getting better at your ghosting and your accenting, and you're creating and executing ideas on the full kit. So, hey, before you go, tell me in the comments, name a song you're working on right now with challenging fills. What's the song that's challenging you? What's the fill that's challenging you right now? Let's get a conversation going. And before you go, be sure to grab that free PDF e-guide I told you about a minute ago, Know What to Practice for the Beginner Drummer. If you've just got 30 minutes a day to play and you want to learn the 3 most effective core things to practice every day and have all your work cut out for you right here, flow exercise, twofold coordination growth method, ear training, learning songs by ear method, it's all right there in this simple little guide for beginners that will help you grow like crazy. So be sure to grab that, my free gift to you. All right, I hope this lesson's been helpful. I hope this has been valuable to you. As always, stay non-glamorous. I'll see you next time. Know that you can do this.